First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Appreciate all of you joining us here wherever you're watching. We do appreciate it. And of course, we get to do a lot of different things here on this show, including talking about home improvement. Anything really that this gentleman wants to talk about, and that is Eric G. from Around the House Northwest. Just flip those, the lower thirds around. Just imagine, he's Eric, I'm Greg, so that's how that works out. But Eric, always good to have you here on the show.
Thanks,
really, really appreciate it. And every week you've got something new that you're going to be covering here, that you're going to be talking about with us. Yeah. What are we doing today?
I want to talk about kind of cost versus value. You spend a bunch of money on your house, and things get more and more expensive. If you're going to pay to have somebody do something in your house, what's the cost and what value do you get out of it? Do you get a return?
Yeah.
And there's been this really big shift over the last number of years because I get a lot of my information from the cost versus value report that's been out. It's a Remodeling magazine has done this for years. And so they go around to special areas around the country like Portland, Seattle, and 50 markets or so, and figure out what a remodel would cost of this specific, like a bathroom or a kitchen, and then what's your return on the investment. So if you're doing this for resale, is this going to actually make you money, or are you blowing a bunch of money you're not going to get back?
Right, because you feel like that's one of the big things too for everybody is, remodel, it's going to add value, you're going to get all this out of it, and but it costs a lot too, as we were talking about last week even, getting contractors and finding the right one.
And remodeling costs are gone up so much. I mean, stuff that I would look at, that's a $5,000 project can be a $10,000 or $15,000 project now, just because of the costs involved with it. And so thought we'd talk a little bit about the cost versus value today.
Yeah.
And what some of the good ones are, and maybe some of the ones that you're probably burning money in the street in a barrel and you don't even know it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I know there's always those typical ones that everybody talks about what they're going to remodel, but I know you've got a huge list here. I was looking at it beforehand.
Yeah, we're just going to touch on a few of them today. But one of the biggest ones, HVAC conversion. When you're converting over from a gas or, basically a gas furnace, an electric AC to a heat pump.
Okay.
Converting over to that electric, that gives you a 103.5% return.
Really?
And that's not taking into account the rebates that are coming out this year.
So converting to electric from gas, you'll get that much.
You'll get that much value back to your home, and then there's going to be rebates coming out later this year. Depending on what those numbers are, you have to go through, jump through the hoops basically. But you could get up to $14,000 in rebates on doing that as well. So
wow.
The average cost of this job cost across the country is about $17,747, and you get $18,386 back.
Whoa.
So in our area,
you're
it's
actually
a little
making
bit more.
money on that?
You could make money back off that.
Wow.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's rare in home improvement that you actually get instant money back in perceived value.
And get an
in your
update
house.
And you get that back. Wow. Yeah.
Plus, it's going to save you money because now you have lower bills because it's more efficient.
Yeah.
So that's like a win out of the park. That's kind of rare in this. You don't see a lot of those. Another one is putting manufactured stone veneer on the front of your house.
Really?
So curb appeal, right?
Yeah.
You got to think about curb appeal. When somebody pulls up to the house, in value, when you pull up, people will go out and go, oh, I don't want that house. I can't see it could be like a total gem, but if it looks horrible from the street, more people drive off and never even get a chance.
Huh, so it's just that perception is reality kind of thing.
Absolutely, that's why garage
so
door
stone veneers.
Yeah, stone veneer. So that is about a $10,000, almost $11,000 project, and so you get a couple $100 extra bucks out of that one.
Man.
At 102.3%. But here's what's funny, if you look at the Pacific Northwest, that average job cost is $10,925. Here it's $12,893.
Why is
we're one of the more expensive places in the country.
Why is that it's more expensive here?
Well, a lot of things come down to lack of trades.
Okay.
So we have got a huge problem out there with that trades gap that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
So because we've taken a lot of the shop classes out of schools, we've really kind of abandoned the trade stuff in our school systems. There are some great places around here that do it, but generally there's a lot of places that got rid of those programs, and so now that electrician out there might be making more than the school teacher is in our schools right now. And so a lot of these tradespeople are making six figures out there because of the demand for them. And so that ends up paying in your job cost bills.
Gotcha. Okay. Just because that there's, they can just up the rates. And
I mean, I know electricians out here that are paying $15,000, $20,000 signing bonuses for them to come work for them for a year.
Wow.
That's how big a shortage we have.
That's something. That's a whole discussion that we should.
Absolutely.
That needs to be had on the show.
That's a big one. So again, that's where you go. Entry door, 100.9%. So your average steel entry door, $2,200 to put it in. And again, here's what's interesting in our area. So national average is $2,214 in our area. Because of that, $4,063.
Just to put in the door.
Yeah,
Put in a steel door.
that's the steel door and that cost.
Man.
So that's where
I
you
didn't
start
realize
to
doors
see-
were that expensive for a steel door.
But a couple years ago, that was $2,000.
Man,
so that's,
so
where
that's how much it's
that's
changed.
The stuff has changed, and so that's where that's really important. Now, some of the worst ones,
Yeah.
bathroom addition. So you're taking and maybe doing a little bit of it. You're taking a place and making that bathroom or adding another bathroom to your house.
Yeah. I always thought that's a good thing to.
Yeah, an upscale bathroom addition. So let's say you have a little tiny and you're going to make it into a master.
Yeah.
Average job costs in the country is $104,733.
$104,000 to upgrade your bathroom?
Oh, but wait, 132,000, almost 133 in our area.
That's like okay, so that's like half the cost of a house, and depending on where you're at.
Correct. There's the problem.
Well, maybe
26.6%. 26%
That's
return.
that's it?
Yeah. So 75% of that money you've thrown away because you're not getting it back.
Wow. So when you go to sell it, yeah, you can't just mark it up, 100.
You're not going to get that.
You're only
back.
getting 26%. That I feel like a lot of people don't know about, because bathroom remodels seem to be one of the most common things, at least that I've.
Yeah. Average so just a basic bathroom model. So if you're looking at that hall bathroom, for instance, right? And this is in the Pacific Northwest here. I'll throw that number out at you. This is that one where you walk in the bathroom, there's like a vanity and a toilet, maybe it's on one side or the other, and the bathtub's at the end.
Yep.
Using inexpensive materials, and I'm talking like reuse the cabinet, putting vinyl down, putting in a fiberglass tub shower. We're not talking anything crazy. That cost right there in our area, just in that $32,861.
$32,000 just for that?
For that. Now, if you want to take that up, for that same one, if you're going to put in like the tile backsplash, the granite countertops, and the heated floors,
Yeah.
$96,689. That's to have a contractor come do it, and that's average in our area.
How much of that do you think is contractor cost versus
I mean,
the
think
materials?
about it. Usually in a bathroom model, in my experience, and I've got 30 years of doing this,
Right.
it's half costs of the materials and about half of the labor out there.
Okay.
But sometimes with this, you see other stuff where you're getting into, especially with older homes, because
Yeah.
building code has changed. So now all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, we have to have another circuit to the bathroom to run this or those kind
Right.
of things.
Yeah.
And so those little
Just
things
keeps on
add
adding up. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let
it's
alone what you
grandfathered
find
in.
when you get in behind the walls, and yeah.
Exactly. It's grandfathered in until you open it up.
Okay.
And then you have to bring it up to
And then you have to.
building code.
Okay.
So that's where that stuff goes. Kitchen remodel. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
So just doing what I call the fluff and buff, where you're like cleaning it up, maybe putting some new countertops in, basic stuff. They're saying that's about $30,000. But if you want to do an actual, like laminate countertop, black appliances, inexpensive cabinets, $87,000, just to do a very basic kitchen remodel. And I'm not talking with all the nice stuff that you would normally want to put in there, like the stone or quartz or something like that.
Right. Just the basic stuff, $87,000. Man,
That's where we're at today.
that's where we're at. And what's the return on that?
Kitchen remodel, just that basic one right there, 34.5% right now.
So you're not getting any of that money back.
You're getting 30,000 out of that 87. Now, I want to say something about this though, because this is important. That is just on the numbers, but here's what you have to take into account. If you're putting your house up for sale, and let's say you've got a $500,000 house around here,
Yeah.
and if you look at the marketplace around you and go, wow, every one of the houses that are up for sale have a brand new kitchen in them. And if you're trying to put your house up for $500,000 and it doesn't, and it looks horrible, there's going to be some things. How bad do you want to sell the house?
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to reduce it a bunch because someone in their mind goes, I got to pay $100,000 to do a kitchen.
Yeah.
So now that's a $400,000 house. So what are you going to get back? So it's a little more complex than just a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So you have to take that market into account too of what your competition is for selling that house.
Gotcha.
Now, if you're going to live in that house forever, this doesn't really matter because you're just spending money to live comfortably.
Yeah.
You're going to do what you want to do.
Right. It's all for you at that point. But still, that's pretty remarkable that those are the returns. Because kitchen and bathroom are always the ones that I think of, that those are the big remodels, right?
They are. They are.
You know, and you're not getting a return on those.
No, but at the same point, it's a little more complex because
Yeah.
you're not going to put that in the paper, what the value is in your neighborhood, especially if
Right.
you're thinking about, that value is, okay, what's the value if I put it up for sale tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the problem with house flippers too, and you get house flippers that come into neighborhoods and stuff like that and do the really cheap flips.
Yeah.
They're having to spend a lot less money because they're putting in the imported cabinets, the kind of the seconds to make it look good.
Right.
Because otherwise they can't make money doing it that way.
Yeah. Doing all those upgrades. that's something good to know too. If you are going out there, you know, shopping for a house that's from a house flipper, know that it's
Yeah, a couple
not the
things.
top end stuff.
Let's talk about that for a second because that's
Yeah.
a good one. So, two things that I want to do when I'm buying a house that's an old house. So, like, let's say you're in the city of Portland,
Yeah.
and you're going to go buy a house, and it's a 1920s, 1930s house. I want to take a look at that listing and say, okay, that's 1,400 square feet. The first thing I do is I call down to the building department and find out what they say on Portland maps the square footage is. You might be buying a house that only has 700 square feet of livable space because that's all that's permitted.
Yeah.
So now you're paying twice the square footage of what you're actually getting. Because what happens is in these older houses that they'll do an addition and they're going to actually, let's say they enclosed in a porch or they did, you know,
Yeah.
multiple things like that, or they took the storage area and made it into a second floor. When you go to pull a permit, you have to take that area and bring it up into current code. And I've had this happen before. So make sure that the square footage from what the building department says to what the listing is match. Because then you've got a big discrepancy. And no one's out there looking for you at this. This isn't something that the realtor is supposed to be looking for. This isn't
Yeah.
something that comes up in a title search. Because the tax assessor is the one. You tell the tax assessor you got a 4,000 square foot house and it's 2,000, they'll take your word for it and charge you for it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that that's actually what the square footage is.
That is very important to know. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Because you can, I've had it. We had this happen on a remodel I was doing where it was nothing wrong with the city of Portland. Went down, got the contractor got the building permits. It was a master bath remodel.
Yeah.
Went down, permits were issued. They gutted the thing, came out for the first inspection, and the inspector goes, "This second floor was never permitted." And so they had to spend an extra $100,000 to get that up to code on top of the bathroom.
All those hidden fees and things that, I mean, not hidden, I guess, but things you don't know about.
Yeah. And nobody had any idea that somebody in the 70s never pulled
Had just
permits
never
on
pulled
it.
a permit on it. Now I got to go check all this stuff online because it's a pretty old house.
Older the house, the more likely that's happened over the years.
Yeah, it's 1907, so
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Cool house, but
It's
yeah,
cool,
sometimes
but there's a lot of surprises that you
Lot of
find.
surprises
Yeah,
with
that you find with that. All right, as always, you know, great info on this. Anything else you want people to know about?
No,
here
I mean, this
for-
is, you can actually go find this cost versus
That's-
value report. Just Google it up, and then you can
Okay.
put in your area and take a look. And I mean, there's a lot of things in here from deck additions to window replacements, all that stuff. It gives you a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good idea of what those costs are in general. But the key to this is not just the little spreadsheet, is the descriptions back here, because it'll sit
yeah,
there
so
and
it'll
call
let
it a
you know.
mid-range kitchen remodel.
Yeah.
But they'll say, oh yeah, you've got white appliances, no tile backsplash, you've got laminate countertops. Most people think of mid-range as, I want the stainless steel, I want the
Yeah.
countertops, I want that stuff. In these things, they call that high end, so you have to upscale it, so you have to think about that.
Okay, factor that in, and it's the cost value report.
Yeah,
so
cost versus value
just
report.
Google that, and then you can find that. Fantastic, great info. Let's talk about the new episode coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Saturday
We
we
got
got
to
a
do
great
some
one
cool
coming up.
things.
Yeah, so I put in a brand new Clope garage door. So I had this old 1977 wood, creaky. I mean, just like anything wood that's been outside since 1977, it
Yeah.
had a good life. It was time for that. So I put in this really thick 600-pound garage door that's aluminum and glass.
Wow, 600 pounds.
Yeah, so it's a monster, but it's super insulated. I mean, before I could hear a leaf drop outside through that door. Now I can't hear the Amazon truck out front. So I mean, it's super insulated, but looks good too.
That's
So,
great. I think I might have a clip actually
you
of
might
that
actually
from.
have one on that.
Yeah.
There we
right
go.
here. There we are.
Yeah. So
That is a nice looking garage door.
that was fun. So I had a good time with that, and that was just a monster. It was fun to put in, and that's one of the things with garage doors you need to be careful with. That is not a DIY project. That's why I had Oregon City Garage Door come out and help me with that.
Really.
Because those coil springs up top that they have, I know too many people that get hurt with those.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to put a metal rod in and you have all this stored tension in it. And so those rods can slip out and hit you in the face. And
Oof,
so
yeah.
I know a couple people that got broken jaws trying to fix garage doors. So
That would be me.
I don't
That would
touch
happen to
them.
me.
I don't
yeah.
touch them. That's
Yeah.
when I bring the pros in for that.
Right. Yeah. So, which is a smart idea. So that's going to be on this
Mid
week's.
Northwest, we go out and visit Freeland Spirits.
Oh yes. I
Yes.
think we've got a little clip of that here as well.
So there we go. Yep. We go out
Yeah.
and talk to them. And I tell you what, this is a wonderful place. Had a great time here with Molly. She was a good time out there. Here's the cool thing. Completely women-owned, women-run company. She's the distiller there. She got her degree from the University of Scotland. Master's degree.
From University of Scotland, like
Yeah.
actually.
Knows her stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
legit.
So we go through gin and whiskey making out there, and completely cool how they do it, and all handcrafted. So just small batch. They're bottling it by hand out there, putting the labels on by hand. Just super great people to talk to. It's definitely a place you got to go out and check if you're.
Where is Freeland?
Just kind of North Portland up there.
Okay.
So northwest. So pretty up there. That's where they have that tasting room and distillery there.
Oh, how
So,
cool.
Great stuff.
I'm assuming you had to sample some of the wares. Well,
Yeah, it wasn't
how else
on
would you know how to
camera, but
talk about it? Yeah.
Absolutely. At the end, we made sure quality control.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Quality control.
You have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're the expert. You have to
absolutely.
know.
You gotta know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Oh man, look at that. I bet that gin's amazing.
Oh yeah, good stuff out there, and they've got some great stuff. So good people out there, which is fun. And then the other thing we've got a new lawn care product that we've got in the show that we do an interview with. So
Nice.
it's instead of having the guy out there that comes out, guy or girl coming out and spraying the chemicals on your lawn.
Yep.
This is a DIY solution. So you sign up,
Okay.
and they send you out a lab test kit so you can take some soil samples,
Ah.
send it back, and they come up with a full green, using sustainable stuff that you can put on the end of your hose and do your own lawn with.
Oh, cool.
So all just a subscription, and
And
they take the
analyzes
lab
your
test.
soil, so you can
Yeah.
see. Like I've got a lot of clay in mine.
See,
Yeah.
and they know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I've
it's
not
totally
yet to figure
affordable
that
way,
out.
Totally affordable way to do it, and because what's our bad habit? We go to the home improvement store and stand in front of the aisle and go,
Yep.
I think it's about time to go with that, and we put on making a wild guess.
That's exactly what I do.
That's what I do. So
Yep.
and you hope it works.
Nope. I look at the pictures and just think, yeah, that looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they'll even text you and say, hey, it's time, because they watch your weather, because they go based off your address. They'll be like, hey, it's time to do this. Hey, it's time to do this.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great business plan.
So we got that and a whole bunch more this weekend.
Okay, cool. As always, and just for everybody, always want to let them know when are the air times, can they watch?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Saturday morning, so Fox 12 Plus, and then it re-airs at 6 p.m. on Sunday, and then of course 8 a.m. on Friday morning as well.
Check them all out, and there's lots of videos too online on the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel.
Yeah, over 100.
Yeah, over 100 videos you can go and take a look at for all the stuff, all these cool things that Eric does. Well, thank you, as always. It's so good to have you on here. Eric's here with us every week on Fox 12 Now, Thursdays, 1:30 p.m., and always something new, always learn something on these segments, so really, really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for joining in, too. If you're watching live right now, we are live every weekday as well. Coming up at 2 p.m., I'm going to have the executive director of Pride Northwest talking about the Pride Festival this weekend. So that's what we're going to be covering, go through some of those events, some of the things that are going on with that, so you can come back for that again at 2 p.m. Pacific. But thanks for tuning in. That's it for now. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.
This is Fox 12 Now. Talk to you soon.
See you Saturday.